I didn't have a job. My girlfriend, now wife, was working, and I had one thing that I had as a responsibility every day, and that was to make her a sandwich before she came home for her lunch break. I cheated my way through high school because I knew that I needed to get good grades, but I didn't want to put in the work. I went into the workforce. My dad thought for sure that having me do essentially menial labor jobs would teach me that I didn't want to do that. And so I worked in a paint factory, I worked in a door factory, I worked in a paint warehouse, a paint store, and I was too lazy to go get a different job. And so I literally just always took whatever was before me. But I had this sense that I could do more, that I could be more, that there was something that I was meant to do. I didn't know what that was exactly. I had a love for filmmaking, to be sure, and I've had that love since I was a little kid, but I had no idea how that was going to play itself out. Flash forward a few years. I go to the man who would become my father-in-law, and I asked for his blessing to marry his daughter. And he said no. He was very right to be concerned. But I remember him asking me a simple question. Tom, how do you plan to take care of my daughter? He had come from this very small village in Cyprus. He has one of the most extraordinary tales of rags to riches I've ever heard in my life. He worked his way from ground fucking zero, man, a dirt patch in the middle of nowhere, to living in London and running one of the largest shipping companies from a high rise. And when he says, how do you plan to take care of my daughter? My answer is, sir, I know what you see before you is a broke, undereducated kid, but I'm the most ambitious person you've ever met. He was skeptical. And the reason he was skeptical, this is about 15 years before I built $1 billion company. I would lay in bed for up to 4 hours a day, every single day, because I couldn't motivate myself to get out of bed. I was absolutely terrified. Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw me staring back, and I knew how lazy I was. I knew how afraid I was. I knew how insecure I was. I knew that at my core, I wanted people to like me, and I was terrified that they had every reason in the world not to like me. All I was trying to do was campaign. I was trying to posture. I was trying to create the illusion that I was something, because that seemed like I could do it fast, instead of just buckling down and doing the hard-ass work of becoming somebody new. How is the worst thing that ever happened to me actually secretly the best thing that's ever happened to me? And so suddenly I started saying, how is this shame of sitting in bed, how is this the best thing that's ever happened to me? How is this soliary type awareness of just how dumb I really am, how is that powerful? And the thing that winds me up, when I say that, when I talk about I started from not being that bright, nobody thought I was going to win, my own mother thought I was going to fail, my father-in-law did not want me to marry his daughter, they think that I'm just being humble, or that even I misidentified myself. But the reality is, that's how shapeable a human being is. And now that I was getting value and self-esteem out of growing instead of out of being, everything in my life changed. So 15 years later, my father-in-law visits the US for the first time since we started Quest. And I'm taking him around the production floor. And there's 300,000 square feet. There's 800 employees. The bars are coming off the line at 1.5 million a day. People are coming up and thanking me for having a job and for the way that we run the company and all that. And I turned to him and I said, Andreas, do you remember asking me how I was going to take care of your daughter? And he said, yes. And I said, how am I doing? And he just burst into tears. And the punchline of that story, it does not matter who you are today. The only thing that matters is who you want to become and the price you're willing to pay to get there.